BossCowboySports, where your voice matters.
Yeah, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, I'm just trying to get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at since the second grade. Man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid.
Boss Cowboys.
Your voice matters.
Your voice matter. But you already know. So man, today gonna be interesting. We gotta talk about some stuff. It's some confusion. And we gonna try to get down to it. What is really going on with Mazi? Can somebody talk to me? Yeah, because he's a pivotal piece right now. So we gotta get down to it. I think we gonna set some real expectations today. Especially when you see two people going back and forth respectfully, with good minds. I do feel like I see where sometimes the confusion is coming in. So, I'm gonna come in and try to give some answers.
You want answers?
So y'all sit back, man. Boss Cowboy go talk about one of our pivotal pieces. Boss Cowboy Sports.
BossCowboySports, where your voice matters.
No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. Need no middleman, I'm the man to man, send it in. I like what I like, me, I know my rights is sipping in. I like having fun, I do what I want, it's what it is. For my son and son, for my daughters, yeah, it's for my twin. I work through the night, I do what I like, get a check, I go for the ride. I've been down the ride, for the win. Still move on the hush, never run for none. I face my fears, I just drop for none. Month to month, still from year to year. No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. Get some checks, I invest and I spend a check. Spend a check, get it back, then I take a risk.
Let's go.
Only race is the human, I take care of my skin. I was doing this as a rookie, now I'm up to vet. Set the trend, set the pace of play. I don't trip, but if I fall, bet I make a way. I take trips in the fall, watch the leaves change. I like to treat every day like it's my B-Day. No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again.
Welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter.
Do it again, again, again.
And all the executives have a seat.
Do it again, again, again.
My boy said I've been cranking them out lately. Yep. It's a lot of work to do. A lot. So, just got to get to work. Now, the funny thing about my latest shows is all my latest shows is very spontaneous. Very spontaneous. Like, but sometimes I see things and it's like, it give you a chance to address it now. Also, I want to get y'all ready for something that's coming. A show that I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. So I'm actually pushing up a lot of my content that I already pretty much got planned, but you know, it's about getting to it. But sometimes things come up that's pretty urgent that you didn't expect. So one of the things that I'm gonna be talking about is obviously what came out with Bobby Wagner. Now, if you've been following Boss Cowboy Sports, you already knew, because I actually talked about it yesterday. So, but it's more evidence that what I was telling y'all was true. I was saying yesterday that Dan Quinn was in talks with Bobby Wagner for 2 years. Now, a lot of people was like, Boss, shut up, Boss. I even heard content creators say, Boss, that's not true. Well,
you want answers?
it looked like I was telling you the truth. And I was telling you the truth when I said they was in talks for 2 years, because I've obviously researched it already. So we gonna talk about that tomorrow. Now you and usually I drop pre-recorded videos. I'm going live because that one is that important. It's that important. What's up, Eric? My boy Common Sense. Yeah, so yeah, man, we go get into the topic of today, because actually it came from a very good, understandable back and forth, right? And the back and forth is over a very important subject matter, Mazi, right? Very important. So obviously when you know, keep your ear to the ground, stuff pop up on Twitter, and I saw this. What's up, Queen? And Foots, you know, very passionate, very good, very smart content creator. He made a comment. He said, if you really listen, Mazi was asked to do something he never did in college. To me, that's not on the player. That's on the staff. This staff gets it. So, and it's doing good views, very good views. Good job, Foots. A whole bunch of likes, 865. So it registered. But Clarence Hill has something to say about it. Then he said, this has gone too far. Like, wait, whoa. Kind of strong there. Kind of strong. Mazi was not asked to nothing Jonathan Hankins wasn't asked to do. No coach told Mazi to lose weight. This is also Cowboys to spin on trying to make sense of Smith's massive disappointment as a rookie. Well, the first thing when I look at this, I don't see Foot saying anything about weight at all. What he was talking about, what I see him clearly talking about, was what he was asked to do, scheme wise. So contextually, Foots never brought up his weight. I'm gonna talk about his weight, but Foots never did. He was only talking about the staff gets how to use him. So the first thing I would say is, I felt like Clarence came strong, but he came strong out of context of what Foots was saying. So I'm also show you why Clarence Hill said what he said, because this is the biggest point I'm gonna make all day. And I'm gonna also make this point going back in time, talking about Randy Gregory. And this is a good question. That's why I'm doing this show. This is a good question. He said, which one is it? So you have to stay with this show. You gonna have to stay with this show, especially when I get to the end and talk about Randy Gregory and the confusion that happened with that. All right, but this is the biggest point. All of us, every one of us, are only as good as the bird that's feeding us. So it's a lot of times, a lot of people try to look down at YouTubers. And it's a treatment that as if, you guys are wannabes. When that's the opposite. Especially when you're dealing with somebody like Foots, myself, or many people in this space. It's a lot of passion that go into this work. It's a lot of research that goes into the work that we do. It's a lot of love. And we can't afford to be wrong like a lot of them. Because when they wrong, people still give them the credibility of insider and they brush over it. But if I'm wrong, it's gonna be thrown in my face. If Foot's wrong, it's gonna be thrown in his face. If Law is wrong, J Tuck could be thrown in his face. So we actually, especially Foots, because I've been watching Foots for some time now. I think he's one of the most professional, most researched guys in this space. He's bold, but he's always professional. Just watching. Just you just watch how people move. Not emotion. And they had a good back and forth. And we gonna get into it even more. So I'm gonna just show you a little bit. He said, so why would he say he's going to do what he does best? I also remember this. According to you, Mazi is a disappointment. So Foots, he go speak his mind, and I like that.
Bring it real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Clarence Hill said he was a disappointment last year. Isn't what he does best the same as Hankins? They're going to use him more like he was used in college, but that was more on the player for losing weight. Now, once again, Foots never said one thing about his weight. Foots was only talking about how he was used. So let's just kind of look into it. And I'm going to stay with where Foots is. And I'm going to look at why Foots said what he was said based on what Foots was fed. Because based on what he was fed, he told no lies. I'm going to prove it. Okay. But we gonna talk about the weight too. But I'm also be very fair to Clarence Hill because I know exactly why he said what he said. And I can look back and honestly say, I can see where this misunderstanding came from. So we gonna talk about all of it. So, and it's all got to do with what's up with Mazi. And how we go fix Mazi. What is the plan for Mazi? All right. So let me set it up. We gonna start with what Foots actually highlight it, and we gonna go from there. Here we go.
Aware of the kind of nuances of that?
Well, I think he's gonna be able to play blocks more than just getting upfield. All right, not disrespecting the previous coaches that were here or anything. It's just different system, different style of D-line play that Coach Zimmer's brought in.
So the first thing I want to say is, a lot of people say that Zimmer and the staff has sneak dissing Quinn. Because the question is, was Quinn doing too much? I'm going to be honest. based on what they saying and based on what Foots was saying in context, yeah, Quinn was doing too much scheme wise. But that's based on what they saying. Listen, because this is all about scheme, not weight. Listen.
Aware of kind of the nuances of that.
Well, I think he's gonna be able to play blocks more than just getting upfield. All right, not disrespecting the previous coaches that were here or anything. It's just different system, different style of D-line play that Coach Zim's brought in. So I think it suits him better. Instead of just running upfield, he's gonna play blocks. He's gonna grind blocks and double teams and all that stuff, especially in the run game.
So his get off philosophy is going to be different.
Yeah, especially at the nose tackle position. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So scheme wise, they saying the scheme didn't fit Mazi. But Paul, I see you, bro, and you using your common sense. Because this is common sense. Look, Hankins played well. Mazi didn't really. Yeah. And see, that's what it comes down to. That's basically what Clarence Hill is saying. Yeah. But was Dan Quinn doing too much? According to the staff, they saying it was him. Yeah. So let's listen to Zimmer, and we go listen to Greg Ellis, all talking about just scheme as we measure the Kool-aid. Here we go.
System will have him be asked to do similar things than what he did at college.
Yeah.
I think that you get off philosophy, Jeff was just talking about, is just different. Can you kind of elaborate as to kind of why he might be more comfortable with what you are prepared to ask of him?
Well, that's kind of what he did in college. He lost a lot of weight when he got here, and he was trying to be a attacking 3 technique to get up the field. And
now, we can try to act like Foots was just talking, or we can listen to what Zimmer is saying based on his research. Because you had one coach call out the scheme and the plan. The plan. Matter of fact, didn't you hear him call him a 3 tech? He was basically saying that's how Dan Quinn was using them. That's what I'm hearing. If I'm being fed by the birds as they're talking, and I'm just listening, especially if I go look at what my boy said. If you go look at what he said, if you really listening, yeah, Foots is telling the truth. If I'm listening, I'm hearing what Foots is hearing. I'm hearing what Foots is hearing. Play it again.
System will have him be asked to do similar things than what he did at college.
Yeah.
I think that you can get off philosophy, Jeff was just talking about, is just different. Can you kind of elaborate as to kind of why he might be more comfortable with what you are prepared to ask of him?
well, that's kind of what he did in college. He lost a lot of weight when he got here, and he was trying to be a attacking 3 technique to get up the field. And we're going to probably play blocks a little bit more than that. Try not to get reached, so linebackers know where they're supposed to fit, and so on and so forth. So, I guess that's the biggest thing.
So that's 2. Foot show 1. That's 2. Let's look at 3.
Can you help us understand just the difference schematically, just with the way the system is, how even when maybe before the snap happens, but as the snap happens, just to get off and alignment, everything is going to be different, and maybe make him a little bit more comfortable in the way things are now. How so?
Well, I think this is more what he played in college, this type of scheme what Zim has. I don't know if that was the plan, but I'm glad it worked out that way. And so I think what the Cowboys saw when they drafted him, obviously I wasn't here, but what they saw him in college, this gives him a better opportunity to get back into doing some of the stuff he did in college.
That's 3. That's 3. So we got 3 separate people saying the exact same thing. The person that actually mentioned the weight was Zimmer. It sounds like weight did have something to do with it. If I'm putting 2 and 2 together, if I'm listening. Also, y'all know I measure Kool-Aid, so I'm going to go look at everything. I'm going to go look back. I'm going to verify. So then, looking at what Michael Gehlken said on March 26th, he said Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy said nose tackle Mazi Smith had all-season shoulder surgery. He is going to have a lot more opportunities in 2024. Smith lost some weight last season. He'll have a better plan. Wait, a what? A what? He'll have a what? He'll have a better plan, and we'll help him with that plan to keep at envisioned weight. Somebody had a plan. Somebody had a plan. See, because what's being kind of put out there is that just Mazi did this on his own. I think it's a combination of what's being put out there. I think he was asked to lose some weight. I just think he lost too much weight. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, because people are obviously leaking that it has something to do with mental health and the stress. I believe a lot of that's true, but I'm not also going to just take Dan Quinn out of this, especially when you have 3 staff members basically talking about it was the scheme, playing them like a 3 tech, and wanting him to get upfield. On top of that, I want y'all to remember Coach Q called in even before these coaches start talking. And he started talking about, before any one of these coaches, I don't know if y'all remember that, Coach Q started talking about this. I don't know if y'all remember, Coach Q called in and he said Zim has a scheme similar to Michigan. Now, these coaches wasn't even talking yet. It just shows you how smart the executives are. And Coach Q is an offensive line coach. I don't know if y'all remember that. He said, I looked at Michigan and I looked at Zimmer. And I looked at what type of front he run. He said, this front fit Mazi. Now, I hear a lot of people see Dan Quinn was sabotaging Mazi. Nah, I don't think that's the case at all. Sabotage too strong of a word. If anything, he was doing what he normally was doing, where he was trying to be too creative. And he was trying to get more out of him, because we remember, what was they saying when he was drafted? Let's not act like they wasn't talking about changing him, right? Let's not act like they wasn't publicly saying, we think we can also get some pass rush out of him. Do y'all remember that? But now all of a sudden, it's all Mazi fault. Yeah, it was all Mazi. Nah. Mazi the stress got to him. I believe there's some truth in that. You know? But I also believe he was asked to lose some weight. And I think Mazi is a very hard worker. And I think what happened is he went too far. And I believe it was the stress. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, the same work ethic that caused him to lose it is the same work ethic that's causing him to get it back. So then when I go look at that exchange right? Between two very smart people, okay? Because I researched, I also see exactly why Clarence Hill said what he said. I'm gonna show y'all something. Who is this? Who is this right here? Huh? Who is that? That's Clarence Hill. Who he talking to? Dan Quinn. What did he say when he talked to Dan Quinn? He said regarding Cowboys rookie top pick Mazi Smith, y'all really thought a nose guard who is job to take on double team was going to flash in the preseason? Dan Quinn said he's not being asked to penetrate and go upfield. He's been asked to occupy blockers. Quinn's not worried. Gets interesting now. Because now what we looking at is a timestamp, direct contradiction. We looking at a direct. Thank you. Somebody lying. Paul. Thank you, Paul. You feel me? Somebody lying somewhere. Ooh. Let me take this super chat real quick. I'm gonna come back to that. Ooh, interesting. This is why y'all gotta watch BossCowboySports. Paul, first of all, I appreciate the fact that you be paying attention, bro. Like, everybody don't be locked in. If anybody be locked in, my boy Paul be locked in, bro. It's some people, they be cooking when I be talking, or they be kind of halfway listening. See, I wasn't expecting that. Guess what? I wasn't expecting it either. I was expecting to come in and just get Foots back 100%. Wait, Miss Lockhart, I don't think so. We're going to talk about it. See, yeah, hold on real quick. I'm gonna save these comments and come back to them. All right. My boy say, hey, boss. Listening to Hanging with the Boys earlier today, and Big Nate Newton mentioned, he said, I'm glad someone in the media was brave enough to say players being used in the wrong way. Well, the people that's saying that is new media. That's who's saying that. That's what Foots was saying. But I'm starting to look at it. See, and that's why I told y'all, man, pay attention to this show. Pay attention. I said all of us are only as good as the information that we are fed. Whether you are new media or old media. If you are fed bad information, you're gonna regurgitate it. Ooh. All right, so let me go back to these. See, y'all now. See, y'all, man, I don't know if y'all be ready for the truth, man.
You can't handle the truth.
Miss Lockhart said, somebody lied. It's DQ. I don't think it's DQ. And I'm going to tell you why. All right. Then this question is, does Clarence Hill's statement hold water? All right, let's go back. Remember, this is time stamped. It's August 2023. So this is why he was so adamant at Foots. I just had to do my research. And I'm gonna be honest, I gotta go where the evidence takes me. If I'm truly measuring the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I told y'all I could see why Clarence said what he said. So let me go back. Now let's read with that context what he said. He said, this has gone too far. Mazi was not asked to do nothing Jonathan Hankins was asked to do. No coach told Mazi to lose weight. This is also Cowboys to spin on trying to make sense of Smith's massive disappointment as a rookie. Ooh. So in other words, what he's saying, I'm keeping it real, y'all. Clarence Hill is saying them coaches are likely being put up to what to say about Mazi. Ooh. 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 Isn't that? Yeah, D-Block. Hey, D-Block, I'm just going where the evidence taking me, dog. He say, what the fuck? Yeah. Say, listen. Listen. I showed y'all, bro. I showed you the timestamp conversation with him and Dan Quinn. I showed it. Dak Delusional, you just can't help it. You always got to turn this back to Dak, bro. I know you trying to live up to your name, but you get annoying. Like, listen, bro, I'm going to tell you something. Listen. I already talked to Jesse. We are doing a full film session with him. In that show, you can talk about Dak all you want. Okay? The subject now is Mazi. Can we stay on topic today without every chance you trying to showcase your hate for Dak? Please? For real, bro. It's getting very annoying because it's like you can't help it. You always turn everything. It's like you obsessed with hating Dak, bro. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. He said this got Jerry Jones written all over it. Politics. This rabbit hole is deep, though. This rabbit hole is deep. Okay. So let me kind of break down why I say this rabbit hole is deep. Okay. My boy Keystone say, welp. Because remember I said I was going to take this to Randy Gregory. Because we got to kind of look at how. And it's going to make us slow down a lot when I go through this. Okay. So, I don't know if y'all remember, but when Randy Gregory, he was already signed with Dallas. Okay. He was already signed with Dallas. But what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. Jerry Jones closed the deal. And I believe Stephen Jones messed it up. D-Block. I ain't surprised either. And see, let me tell you something. That's why the show I'm doing tomorrow is very important. This whole show is pretty much gearing up for tomorrow. Cause see, we got to be very careful because that our guys philosophy is real. More of us should be talking about that. Because for those who don't know the our guys philosophy, it's where Will McClay said, if we pick them, we got to play them. Yeah. And when you have a philosophy like that, sometimes you can overreach trying to make your draft guys heroes. Even to the point where you get goofy and you have the potential to have Bobby Wagner over LVE and you over freaking think it. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing that we could be doing with Mazi. See, because we got to think about it. And I'm going to go through this in detail tomorrow. Do you remember when they ran off Amari Cooper? Stephen Jones basically said, I don't think the fans understand how good Michael Gallup is. And we couldn't have signed Michael Gallup if we would have kept Amari. In other words, he picked Gallup over Amari. Now, keep in mind, listen, I'm just keeping it real, bro. See, that's why I got to have this conversation, because I don't think a lot of people seeing it. Tyrone, he said, boss, you scaring me. I ain't even trying to scare you. I'm just talking about our history and how we move. Wasn't it us? And I'm going to show y'all tomorrow that Stephen Jones actually said that. And what he actually did is he bet on Michael Gallup coming off an ACL injury that he had in January. He signed that guy over Amari. So if you don't think anybody would say that's crazy.
Oh, hell no.
So if he did that, you don't think he willing to force Mazi out there coming off shoulder surgery? Yeah, we better, man. I be trying to scream it from the rooftops. The our guys philosophy is the biggest killer of our contentions. When we overreach to try to force our draft guys. And low key, we put too much pressure on them. Just like we did on Michael Gallup. So going back to Randy Gregory, I got to go through history so we can kind of get a clue of what really happened. Okay? Because it was a war that took place. It was a major war that took place when he decided to go to Denver. It was a major war. And guess what? The war wasn't between new media and old media. It was national media versus local media. Check this out. See, this is when Patrick was working for CBS. All right. And Patrick went fed. Hold on, let me pause this. He said, early Tuesday, I reported Jerry Jones had to tap in to get the deal done with RG, Randy Gregory. Prior to it imploding, after he'd done the work, good job, JJ. In other words, Jerry Jones. You were told by some guy on YouTube, local media guy, that wasn't the case, despite other outlets confirming it. Where? Well, here's Tank on JJ versus Stephen Jones. So look. Hold on. No. Look. So when you look at Clarence Hill, right, you will see it was differences. Right? So James Slater said, I'm telling you, this people forgot about this, but this was a funny time. He said, for what it's worth, I called a number of agents now about the Cowboys players and this salary forfeiture language in contracts that led to bad feelings with Randy Gregory. Haven't found one yet that didn't have it. Okay, talking about the language. All right. Now, Clarence Hill said it's in all their contracts. It's standard language. All right. Now, hold on. Listen, y'all got to stay with me, man. Listen, y'all got to stay with me. Look at this article real quick. Hold on. Come on. I'm messing up. Get it right. Hold on. Get it right. Don't mess it up. Get it right. There it is. All right. Here we go. Here we go. It said Randy Gregory had everything he wanted. Then he left the Cowboys hanging on his way to Denver. Left the Cowboys hanging. Yeah. And when you read the story, because he wrote it the same day, it made it sound like his agent was the bad guy, Peter Schaefer. Okay, y'all stay with me. It made it sound like Peter Schaefer was the bad guy. That Peter was all of a sudden thankful that this deal was getting ready to get done. And then at the last minute, pulled it from Dallas. So you had a lot of people saying it was standard language. Okay. So even Calvin Watkins had something similar that he said about it. Let me go back. So let me show y'all, because I'm building something here. Y'all got to stay with me though. He said, so Randy has been suspended almost every year. He's been a professional and got paid by the team. So now all of a sudden the Cowboys don't want to pay him if he's suspended or fined. Okay. So then I look at David Moore. And all these people, I did a search for language. David Moore says sources say language that Randy Gregory objected is standard language in every Cowboys player contract, with one exception, Dak Prescott. I want you to notice that every one of these people are saying sources. None of them are saying who the source is. But the issue is all of them was willing to talk about Peter, the agent. All right. Now, I also checked Michael Gelkin. Guess who had nothing to say about it at all? Michael Gelkin. So, let me break down what was really going on. This go trip y'all out. Because remember I told you this was a battle between national media and local media. Then we go bring this back to Mazi and we go bring it home. Y'all give me 1 second. Set it up. This is from 105.3 The Fan. Mike Florio. Mike Florio be doing some good work. For real. And Sean and RJ. Sean and RJ. Boss be sleeping. Watch this.
The explanation and the discussion with Peter Schaefer, the agent for Randy Gregory. What happened here, Mike?
Well, this is very simple. The Cowboys use language in their contracts for everyone except Dak Prescott that goes beyond what the CBA requires. You can go farther than the standard language. And teams typically will put language in deals that will wipe out future guaranteed money if someone is suspended. And that can be a powerful tool, especially in the Randy Gregory contract, because the way it's structured with Denver, he's got $14 million next year that's fully guaranteed. If that gets wiped out, and if he has a bad year, you can just cut him. That's why guaranteed salaries in future years are useful for players. They're insurance against having a bad year. One of the reasons Ezekiel Elliott's still on the Cowboys. The way his contract was structured, guarantee after guarantee after guarantee, his money this year is guaranteed. What are we going to do? We're paying him anyway. We're not just going to cut him. We're still going to pay him, so we may as well have him on the team. Not that he doesn't belong on the team, but if he didn't have a huge guaranteed salary for this year, they would have cut him before they paid him, or they would have traded him away like they did with Amari Cooper. What the Cowboys do is they wipe out guarantees based upon even a fine.
Bingo. So now remember, what was the local people saying? Per source, this language is standard language. In other words, it was making it sound like Randy Gregory just panicked, like he got fast talked by his agent. No. If you listen to the details is that the Dallas Cowboys had an additional clause that basically said we could basically forfeit your money if you're fined. That's more. See, and what people gotta think, you gotta put yourself in Randy Gregory's shoes. This was his first time really having a chance to get millions. And he already went through a lot where he lost millions based on a stupid rule. Marijuana. He was put into this stupid punitive program that was super strict, and it cost him millions. So when you looking at language that says we could take it if you're fined, and you already over small print lost millions, the small print is going to matter greatly to you. The job of his agent was to protect him from language that could put him at risk. And he did his job. So then when you connect the dots of what Patrick said, if you go look at what Patrick said Patrick said Jerry Jones basically got the deal done the night before. Where basically what happened was that language was removed. Because it's the job of the agent to comb through the contract to make sure you're not at risk. But what you think happened the day of when it was time to him to sign?
Under, for example, and relevant to Randy Gregory, the substance abuse policy. This guy has a long history of suspensions under the substance abuse policy. I've been on record for years saying the NFL shouldn't care if guys smoke marijuana or otherwise use non-PEDs in their own time. It shouldn't matter. They're on their own time for 7 months out of the year. Why does the NFL care? Well, they do, and it's one of the rules. But if the Cowboys are going to hinge $14 million next year on Randy Gregory not getting fined a single time under the substance abuse policy, and then if he slips this year, and next year they can clear a quick $14 million under the cap by dumping him, he's in danger. So it was important to Gregory to not have that clause in there. And Schaefer said he gave the Cowboys an opportunity to wipe that clause out, and Gregory would have stayed with the Cowboys. Instead, they declined to do it. So he.
Schaefer, on record, said that he gave them an opportunity to take that clause out. They didn't. So that's when Randy was like, nah, I'm out. I want to be with y'all, but I'm not going to put myself at risk over a fine giving y'all permission to take my money. But Randy, we have never exercised that clause before. Then why do you have a problem taking it out? Yeah. Let's keep going. Because this got something to do with Mazi.
Took the deal with the Broncos, who don't have that language. You know, so many teams will say, well, that's how we do business. That's how we do business. I've seen the apologists today saying, well, the Cowboys do that for everyone, except for...
Ooh. So what did he call what did he call the local people? The local people who was... It's standard language. It's standard language. What did he call them? Apologies.
Gregory would have stayed with the Cowboys. Instead, they declined to do it, so he took the deal with the Broncos, who don't have that language. You know, so many teams will say, well, that's how we do business. That's how we do business. I've seen the apologists today saying, well, the Cowboys do that for everyone, except for Dak Prescott. But they do that for everyone. Well, you don't have to. Nothing requires you to do it. It's not some CBA mandate that be in there. And when you have those kind of hard and fast rules, that's what causes you to potentially lose guys to other teams that don't.
So they're the only team in the league with that fine language in there about the fines.
That's my understanding. They're the only ones who do it. And all that matters for these purposes is the Broncos don't.
So I don't want y'all to lose focus, okay? Because some of y'all losing focus of the topic. I'm glad they didn't. Otherwise, we'd be paying Randy Gregory for nothing. I don't disagree with that. But that's not the point. The point is I'm going to get to the point in a minute.
Yeah. The Broncos don't. The Cowboys do. The Cowboys had a chance to take it out for Gregory. And, you get teams caught up in this idea of, well, we can't start setting these precedents. Well, okay, then you lose the player.
Well, Mike, do you think that they snuck this in? That's the accusation that they tried to sneak this in the 11th hour. Do you believe that?
Well,
see, that's coming from, remember, Patrick was reporting that Jerry got the deal done. So what happened, according to Patrick, is basically what happened was they got all the particulars of the deal done the night before. So then when they got to the closing table, they looked and saw that clause in there. Hence the blow up.
The things that Schaefer said is that
because one thing to have an outdated policy or provision, and it's another, right, to try to, while you're signing pen to paper, say, oh, yeah, and there's this.
It's not that it was snuck in. It was at the 11th hour. It was Randy Gregory's getting ready to go to the Broncos. Jerry gets involved and talks him into staying, and he agrees to spurn the Broncos and stay with the Cowboys. Then comes the contract, and specific to Gregory, this fine language is a concern. I don't think it was necessarily slipped in. It's just there. Now, Schaefer claims he was told they use it for everyone, so when Schaefer finds out they don't use it for Dak Prescott, Dad's like, well, come on, you're not being completely honest with me here. And I think there's another question about whether or not Stephen Jones had previously said to Schaefer, we're going to have our standard forfeiture language in any contract we do with Randy Gregory. There's a discrepancy over whether that conversation ever happened.
So now you see why Patrick said, thank you, JJ.
The bottom line is, regardless of how they got there was a chance, there was an opportunity at the end of the road for the Cowboys to say, we understand your concerns, we're going to remove the language, and they chose not to do it. And when that happened, Gregory went to Denver, where that language isn't part of the contract.
That's simple. So now y'all should be able to see the breakdown on a lot of these contracts. A lot of times, what it's looking like to me is Stephen Jones gets so caught up in trying to win that he shoots himself in the foot. And we got OC in the building. OC done snuck in the back door. What's up, homie?
What's up, man? What's the word? Yeah, so a lot of what you've been talking about is a part of the nuance on what holds up a lot of these contracts, specifically when you get into big money contracts and quarterback contracts like Dak Prescott. And I think that a part of this whole conundrum is, to your point, the desire to have out clauses and leverage at key points in the contracts at key time frames and periods. And when you have a market setting player, and we just to talk about Dak Prescott for a second, you really give up your rights as an organization to have certain outs if you have a Pro Bowl caliber starting quarterback that is playing at a Pro Bowl / MVP level. You cannot have those same type of provisions in the contracts. And that's something, to your point, that I think that Steven has a hard time getting over.
Look at this.
Stephen Jones is competing with Jerry. We don't need to. GM's when you want. Yeah, and when I've talked about that ad nauseum, man, and if you watch our shows before, I've talked about the danger and devastation it is for a son to try to compete with his father and to feel like that he has to prove himself, right? Because he feels like I have to show and prove value in being great at doing this thing. And if I'm not great at doing this thing, then it becomes more intrinsic, like it attacks my self-worth. And the reality of it is that Steven doesn't have to be good at doing anything. He just has to hire the right people and listen to sound counsel. He doesn't have to be great. He's trying to be, and on some parts he probably is good, but he doesn't have to really be great at doing anything. He's just, he was just chosen to be, the son. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. So let me go back to this real quick, because also remember, that's why Patrick was showing what happened with Tank. He was, because remember what happened with Tank, that Steven almost blew that deal up.
Yep.
It was Steven that almost messed up that deal. After Tank was being team friendly and Jerry had to come in and close it. I think it's some truth in this. Stephen Jones is competing with Jerry. Yep.
Well, he's trying to prove that he's competent. And when you try to prove anything, you overcompensate.
That's what it looked like. Definitely what it looked like.
When you try to prove you good at something, in some way you always overcompensate. And this has been going on for years since Jerry Jones has started to age, and it was apparent that Stephen Jones would be the heir apparent, right? It's now a proving, and I'm trying to prove this and I'm trying to prove points. I'm trying to prove, here it is, boss. I'm trying to prove points instead of make progress.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm trying to prove points. That's what I see.
Instead of making progress.
Yep.
Instead, no, I want to prove this point. You know, there was in The Art of War, there's a book. People should read this, The Art of War. And the author of The Art of War also famously said another quote. He said that a foolish king burns down his kingdom to rule over ashes. A foolish king will burn down his kingdom so he can rule over ashes. And because he wants to prove a point. And if Jerry Jones or other people around Stephen Jones don't corral him, or he doesn't just grow and mature with key players, he will burn it down. He's willing to burn it down.
Yep. To be right. To be right.
Nick Florio, Pro Football Talk. Join us here at 105 through the Fan.
Hold on.
Is it the Cowboys' obligation to...
Hold on real quick. Let me do this better. Give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. I wasn't expecting the OC. I need to fix this. Here we go. All right, that's what I need. Oh, give me 1 second. I always want to give y'all a good presentation, man. Y'all know me. Y'all give me 1 second. Since he here, I want to do this right. Here we go. Y'all give me 1 second. This still got something to do with Mazi. I'm going to bring it home.
If they have something in their contracts that is outside the industry standard, is it their obligation to be upfront about that and not just have it in there and hope you see it?
No.
Well, now, I don't know that it's their obligation. No, because it's the obligation of the agent to read it.
Right.
I don't think having that in there as standard language is a problem. Now, if you start telling agents we do it for everyone, but the truth is that you don't, that's going to piss people off, potentially.
Right. Because they did it for Dak.
Potentially. Because you've made an exception for Dak Prescott. So if you made an exception for Dak Prescott, you can make an exception for Randy Gregory, who's had well-documented issues under a policy that shouldn't exist. And Jerry has argued in the past that the NFL shouldn't care about marijuana, that there shouldn't be a substance abuse policy at all. So he should understand that the risk of a fine is always there, that the risk of a problem is always there. And once that happens, you give the Cowboys the hammer to get out from under the guaranteed money in 2023. That's what it's all about. It's about the preserving the $14 million that Randy Gregory will definitely earn with the Broncos unless he's suspended.
See, don't go past what he said, because he was saying that language is giving Steven and Jerry the hammer. So if he fined, even though they've never done it, they could do it. And this was his first chance at millions. So you got Denver over here like, nah, bro, we took that out. You ain't got to worry about it. And you got Steven over here like, that got to stay. It has to be standard language to everybody else, even though Dak don't have it.
But would have jeopardized with the Cowboys if he had simply been fined.
Mike, the Cowboys are telling local reporters we would have been...
Who they telling?
Local reporters. Key word. Don't let that get by you.
Yep. Now, this is also why, let's be fair, this is also why I never put Sean and RJ in that mess that happened with Dak. Because they doing their job right here. Are they not? The fact they are asking very hard questions that's exposing this. So because I always watch them. That's why I used to be like, bruh, I don't think they puppets. Nah, maybe somebody else, not them. For real.
Preserving.
Now, do they have to walk light? Yes. But do they do their job? Yes. This was doing their journalistic job. Yeah, they sure was. So a lot of people threw the whole fan in the trash over Dak's accuser and that attorney. I didn't throw the whole fan. I threw one particular person.
The $14 million that Randy Gregory will definitely earn with the Broncos unless he's suspended, but would have jeopardized with the Cowboys if he had simply been fined.
Mike, the Cowboys are telling local reporters we would have been willing to change it, and we don't even enforce that.
Hold on. Is he lying? Let's look at it. Huh? Let's look at it. We gonna look at it. It's in all their contract. It's standard language. Mm-hmm. Yep. My only thing, the Cowboys weren't trying to be nefarious with the language and clause. It's in all their contracts. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Deal between Randy Gregory Cowboys imploded over forfeiture language. Yeah. So when they say when he said, yeah, this is what they were telling their local reporters, he telling the truth. Yeah. That's why I said it was a battle between local and national media.
Anyway, do you believe that or do you believe Schaefer?
Well, I don't know what to believe. All I know is Schaefer's on the record. Now, who's on the record from the Cowboys saying we would have changed it? Is Jerry on the record?
Whoa. OC.
Yeah. Hey, that's as real as you get, man. I mean, you know, we and this is what we mean when we say caring other people.
Reporters, we would have been willing to change it.
Go ahead.
No, this is what we mean when we talk about carrying other people's water. We mean specifically that you heard in this interview, everybody that's listening to this show, you heard the statement, the Cowboys told local reporters, right? You heard that. And so when you give framed specific information to local reporters, they end up reporting on whatever you told them.
Sometimes, and let me be clear on this, sometimes accidentally.
100%. And this is not to say anything about any local reporter, but I'm saying water carrying in the sense of you are feeding a narrative that you want the public to know.
Right. So you're
right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah. And see,
right,
I want to be very specific on that because they would have to have an understanding of contracts.
Right.
So they're reporters. You likely don't deal in contracts. You dealt in contracts. I dealt with contracts. So we both know the specifics is what matter. But if you get a phone call and you just a journalist and it says, man, he walked away from the table, man. It was his agent. Man, the language we gave him was standard. So then you go out there and say, oh man, Randy was tripping. Right? That's because you couldn't put two together. That's why I'm saying all of us are only as good as what we are fed. Yeah.
And let me say something real quick about that statement itself. As a generality, in professional sports, you cannot really say outside of just normal stuff, right? Just normal intros, extras, structure of the contract, paragraphs, right? That's standard, okay? But you can't really just say this is standard. No, it's not standard. It's what you normally like to do in your player contracts.
Yep.
That's different.
Yeah.
So that's not really standard. That's what the Cowboys in this instant prefer to do. That it is the provisions that they like to operate by when they sign their players. And that's the whole thing that got the whole thing off the rails that people need to understand just listening to this, just for future reference. Go ahead, boss.
And we don't even enforce that anyway. Do you believe that, or do you believe Schaefer?
Well, I don't know what to believe. All I know is Schaefer's on the record. Now, who's on the record from the Cowboys saying we would have changed it? Is Jerry on the record saying it?
No.
Is Steven on the record saying it?
No.
When somebody's on the record saying it, and I'm always,
Man, that was some skills by Mike Florio. Man, clap it up for Mike Florio. Who's on the... what'd he say? All I know is Peter Schaefer is on the record. Huh? Who's on the record? Yeah. Yeah, who's on the record? He said, is Jerry on the record? No. Is Steven on the record? No. Ooh, that boy say Mike Florio pulled out them attorney skills right there. Did the OC? Ooh.
He did.
Ooh.
all I know is Schaefer's on the record. Now, who's on the record from the Cowboys saying we would have changed it? Is Jerry on the record saying it?
No.
Is Steven on the record saying it?
No.
When somebody's on the record saying it, and I'm always, with that self-serving stuff, and I understand there's competition and you want to get the story out.
Self-serving stuff, and I understand it's competition and you want to get the story out. And that goes into my comment about water carrying. And this is not shade or any slight versus anybody. This is just saying, hey man, when you give a reporter information, it's their job to report. And more often than not, if they had the first conversation and it seems to be credible, then they're going to report.
But when there's something self-serving like that is aimed to contradict somebody who's on the record, I'll tell the source, you got to go on the record before. I'm not going to carry your water on this. I'm not going to push your BS. You go on the record and say it, and then the reporting will be one side's on the record saying yes, one side's on the record saying no. But yeah, I mean they had a chance to change it, and that's my understanding. And they chose not to, and that's their choice.
Shout out to the fan. Very good reporting on that. Very good questions. They killed it. The answers killed it. So, what does this got to do with Mazi? What this has to do with Mazi, and I'm going to just be honest, we got to all be careful of the information that we getting from everybody. Because the main thing I'm looking at, OC, is the pattern. So why did I just say that? Because the same people we supposed to trust. Now you just heard that Randy Gregory had everything he wanted. Then he left the Cowboys hanging.
Poor Cowboys.
Poor Cowboys. Super reputable source. But now let's look at how it's being spun now. Cowboys Jerry Jones takes a shot at Lyle Collins, Randy Gregory, and Amari Cooper. So now if you go look at how they spinning it, now they spinning it to sound like they did it on purpose. Let's be real clear. We're in a sport where in football, certainly your skill level and your ability to be a player is why you're even being considered as a player, Jones said. More important than anything, these decisions that we made, hold on now. I made it relative to the players not being here. So now they making it sound like it was them that decided not to keep Randy. It had everything to do with their availability.
Man,
Ain't that
this is just Look, man, this is perfect gameship. This is gamesmanship, okay? This is fantastic gamesmanship, and nobody does it better than the Jones family, in particular Jerry Jones, in twisting the narrative to make himself look correct, accurate, right, and wise. You know, when really it was really at that time they were heartbroken over Randy Gregory, right? They didn't want Randy Gregory to go to the Broncos, and everybody that is close to the Cowboys and follows the narrative, they know this. So that's gamesmanship, and it's a great way to redeem credibility in the public eye. So
let me hit this super chat. Got us a big one. Let me take the super chat, then I gotta address one of your apologies. You gonna always get a front office apologies every time. It don't matter how much evidence you show them. It happens every time. Some of y'all want to believe so bad that y'all would ignore evidence just to believe lies. So here we go. Johnny said, this is why we prefer new media, because time after time there seems to be front office bias. FYI, Jones's The Cowboys brand is bigger than y'all, and we will continue supporting with or without you. Yeah, well said, man. Appreciate the super chat. So then you go always get an apologist. Clown show. Love spinning in the narrative. All right. So clarify what's being spun when we showing you the proof that they are clearly making it sound like they decided to get rid of Randy.
Yeah, I don't understand even what he's trying to say. I would like you to use words and not emojis, just so I'm 100% clear. Because me, I'm the OCC boss. Will take your head off. Me, I'm gonna try to give you slightly the benefit of the doubt.
I'm being nice today.
Yeah, you are. Boss, take your head off. Now, me, I'm going to slightly try to give you the benefit of the doubt before I commence to take your head off, but I just want to be clear on what you are saying, because it's unclear with the emojis, and I don't want to make an assumption, okay? There it is. So can you please
he just
clarify?
He caught.
Explain.
Oh, he talking about the Joneses. My bad.
Right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought he might be saying.
My bad.
That's why I asked. Ask questions.
Good job, OC. Good job.
Yeah, ask questions.
Man.
Yeah, he's saying they're being clowns, and they spun the narrative, and that's what I thought he might be saying, but I wasn't sure.
Man, listen, I apologize, Mike. I apologize, Mike. But see, y'all gotta understand, man. I come across so many apologies. Them emojis threw me off.
Yeah, boss has been scarred, man. You know, he used to.
Yeah, I come across so many.
So he had his hand on the sword, and all of a sudden, if it looked funny, he'd be boom. Swing ass questions later.
My boy, Rome in the house. Rome, man. You gotta go back on this show, bro. This show right here, we went deep on this one, bro. I ain't gonna be able to catch you up. But yeah, we went deep on this one, bro. Real talk, man. It's always good to see you, big dog. Appreciate you, and I always appreciate the raid, man. For real, man. And I'm gonna catch your shows. The problem with Rome always go live before me, so sometimes I be prepping for this show as he live. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna start prepping early just so I can get in there, bro. I promise you, I'm gonna find a way. I promise you. Rome go too hard. Every time he show up, I be like, oh, I be feeling guilty, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, my boy said, I got you. I'm gonna start over at work. Man, I appreciate that. But this is we almost finished. We gonna at least get to some very good topics that y'all gonna catch. So this is the next things we gotta talk about when we out of here. Zimmer doubts. And the specific plan for Mazi's way. All right, so we gonna go into that fast. This ain't gonna even take us that long. You cool with that, OC?
Yeah, do it.
All right, let's get it. All right, so let's get into the first part real quick. This is Zimmer's doubt. Listen.
You obviously big focus on stop and run. You got you're inexperienced on paper at the defensive line, even with Mazi.
Right.
With the scheme.
What did he just say right there? Did he deny it?
No, he said right.
Let me run that back just one more time.
You obviously big focus on stop and run. You got you're inexperienced on paper at the defensive line, even with Mazi.
Right.
With the scheme gonna make that much of a difference?
Well, I hope so. It's
is what I'm detecting by his pauses. He's thinking about how to answer this question.
Yeah. And then his answer after that didn't connect with that. It didn't connect. So check this out.
We gave him a lot of nada. That's what you do when you kind of don't want to get into the details of what you're going to actually do schematically, right? He doesn't want to get into all of that. And to answer his question appropriately, he would have to give examples and details about, oh, no, I'm going to use this guy here. I'm going to use this guy here. I'm going to rotate him like this. I'm going to set up this, and I'll have a package here. I'll have a package for this. He's not going to get into all that. So you're going to get a whole bunch of smoke, if you ask a direct question like that. And he should give smoke, by the way. This is right by Zimmer.
Yeah. But I also believe that he's sending a smoke signal. I believe he's saying he needs help.
Mike, welcome back to Dallas. You've left the Vikings 2 years ago. You were out of football for a couple of years. As you've come back to the game now and you've looked at tape of these guys, what first impressions do you have about the players you're inheriting?
There's a lot of talent here. I do think we're thin in some areas, but
that was the first question, OC.
Yep.
What was his first answer?
Within in some areas.
Hopefully we've accomplished some of the things in the draft with Kneeland and Marist, trying to get those guys up to speed and adding a few bigger bodies. But
Mike, welcome back to Dallas.
A few what?
A few bigger bodies, and really, to be honest with you, can I just say the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Mike is uncomfortable about these defensive tackles. You can hear it in his voice.
Yep.
He's uncomfortable. He's doing what he's told. He got paid. He got the opportunity. He cannot make personnel decisions in and by himself, but he's uncomfortable about where they are.
Yep.
He's uncomfortable. He's nervous, and he should be.
So, let's listen to the plan. The plan for Mazi.
If you haven't been able to get your hands on Mazi yet, obviously with coming off of this deal, but what do you expect for this year, and what are you looking for from him?
Well, obviously he was a high draft pick, and I heard that he kind of struggled a little bit last year. So, we're going to start with the basics, get him in a good stance, get him in, using his hands the right way, getting his footwork the right way, and then kind of go from there. I talked to him a little bit, I guess it was yesterday, and he said, I asked him what weight he feel comfortable at, and so we got to get him to that point first, and then, get his strength back, and then, we'll let him go out here on the field, and, we anticipate that he's going to be a good player like he was in college, but, that's how we have to go.
You haven't been able.
What's your thoughts?
He's saying that Mazi's a project. Let me summarize quickly. That Mazi is not where he needs to be. Mazi has to gain weight. Mazi has to regain strength. Mazi has to rehab and get that shoulder together. They said the report they gave him was that Mazi struggled, right? And he has to get him in the right stance. And this goes back to what, the guy that we had on our show, by the way, defensive line trainer Tuck said. He said you got to work on head, shoulders, knees, and elbows. In other words, he's saying that Mazi Smith has to work on everything.
Yep.
And Mazi Smith was a talent coming out, but Mazi Smith is a developmental player. And I said, and this is not I told you so, but this is just for reference and for greater understanding of what we always preach. And it's not that we're trying to be right. We're telling you that, man, it takes 2 to 3 years for defensive tackles to get their sea legs and to develop into grown men in a grown man's game. And it's very, 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 very. You hear all those varies? Seldom that a guy's will come in unless he's a top 10, 15 pick and have an immediate impact. The last guy that was able to do that is guys that are Hall of Famers, okay? J.J. Watt and a guy named Ndamukong Suh, which is pretty much a borderline Hall of Famer, come in and immediately be physical and strong enough to impact the game. And Mazi was not that, and he was drafted too high for the pressure and for what they're going to look. Because if he don't see this, and this is, I said this, boss, almost 2 years ago now. If Mazi don't come and have like a solid productive season this year, guess what everybody gonna say about him? He's a bust.
Yep.
And it's sad. It's sad for Mazi.
Hold that thought. We will come back to that. We go finish with that, okay? Because I was actually saving what you just said to the end. Because I want to warn us in terms of our expectations.
With Mazi, make the second year jump that everyone wants to see out of him, including himself, having the shoulder that he's going through doesn't make it any easier. How does he need to work through that to still achieve where, his game reaching where he wants to?
One of the biggest things that I would say about that is that he has to understand, don't try to rush it. I met him, and he seems like a kid who really wants to be good. And coming off any kind of injury, it can be difficult because you want to hurry up and get back out there and prove everybody, why they draft you. And that's good. But there's something to be said about following the protocol of rehabbing. And so he has to make sure that he's following that as well.
Sounds like wisdom speaking, because the issue is if you come out there and you have cop, there's no mercy in the dojo, as I famously say. There's no mercy. So it doesn't matter if you hurt, I was playing injured, I wasn't all the way back, I was trying to get out and prove myself. You are going to be judged by what you do. AKA Ezekiel Elliott playing on a bum knee.
AKA Michael Gallup.
AKA La'el Collins playing with
AKA Pollard.
AKA several people. Okay? So we can go on and on.
Yeah.
But you're going to be judged by what you do in that game. And so if you're not right, do not. One of the worst things I ever did, man, is this. Is I had I tore the ligaments off my ankle my senior year, and I was running for scouts on a pro day, and I wasn't all the way healthy. My foot was not healthy. I was like a month out of surgery. I was trying to get ready to run a 40, and the worst thing I ever did was run that 40. Trying to show, I was going to tough it out, and ran a bad 40 with a bad leg. Done. You can't. You're going to be judged by what you do. It's no mercy.
No mercy. So now let's deal with Mazi Wade, and we go take some calls and get up out of here. Just a few calls though. I know how you got to go, OC.
Yeah, all good, man.
You good?
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, man. I mean, Mazi's weight is a thing that it's gonna take time to put on weight back properly.
The right way.
The right way. I mean, anybody can gain. You can gain.
Before you go there, let me play it, and then we go talk about that.
You talked about Mazi gaining. How much does he weigh now? What's his ideal weight that he said he wants to get to?
I think he told me he's like 305 right now. And
oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
OC. Does Zim know his weight?
I think Zim 100% knows his weight. 100% knows his weight. You're the defensive coordinator. You know how much you weigh. You know how much you weigh.
You know how much you weigh. I think
oh, and then you look at his face though. Look at his face. He almost on the grin like, man, why you making me lie to you like this? Why you asking me these hardball questions? Well, I gotta actually just lie to you. I just can't tell you like exactly this way. Like, I can't do that, right? I gotta lie to you a little
I'm gonna
bit.
tell you why we know, because we both played Division 1.
Yeah.
Them what we had to get on the scale before and after every practice. They recorded everything we did, bro. But he made it. Now this is the league. We was doing that in college.
And he's rehabbing.
And he rehab. And he the key to your defense. I think he told me.
He's about, I don't know. 3-1.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
Let me play it one more time.
You talked about Mazi gaining. How much does he weigh now? What's his ideal weight that he said he wants to get to?
I think he told me he's like 305 right now, and I'll keep that his ideal weight to me.
Okay.
That Clarence Hill go show some skills right here.
He was like 330 in college, 325 in college.
Yeah, he thought he was too heavy for that.
Good job, Clarence Hill. He was able to give him a range, Now I wanted to talk to you about properly putting his weight on. And I'm going to give you my thoughts, bro.
What?
I'm honestly thinking that we headed to LVE Bobby Wagner. We headed to Gallup versus Amari Cooper. To where it doesn't make logical sense, but we so drunk on our guys that we getting ready to force it, like we've done in the past. And people over here like, boss, come on now. I've been hearing. You didn't hear? Patrick said that they're looking at a DT. Man, say, Mazi, I don't think this weight need to be clean, bro. I think you need to get it on. It need to be a combination of dirty and clean. OC, what's your thoughts?
Well, you said a lot there, so let me kind of unpack a little bit of what you said and just give my thoughts and my opinion about it. If you look at Mazi Smith, and I wish you could pull this clip because there was a show that we did, either it was draft day or it was soon thereafter, and I said, this is going to end up being an unfair situation to Mazi. I said that when they drafted him.
Yep.
Because they're going to expect too much too soon.
Yep.
And it's because they drafted him too high. Okay. They did the exact same thing with Taco Charlton. Okay. Drafted him too high, ends up cutting him. He ends up going on to Miami and being pretty productive, for at least a few years, because he had time to mature by the time they traded him off to Miami. Also the other guy, Tristan Hill.
Yeah.
They drafted him too high, right? And so when he doesn't produce after a couple years, he gets into the abyss and the sea of all these new people they bring into the D-line room. And then, boom, he's out of here, right? So the Cowboys have a history at times of reaching on defensive tackles, thinking in a wrong fashion, they're going to come in here and they're going to save the day. And it's just not the case.
Yep.
Never has really been the case. Never, right? They've hit on a couple steals like Theo Ratliff, right? And Osa's been pretty good so far. So with all that said, let me say this. Mazi is in a tough situation. He's in a real tough situation, man, early on in his career. And the best thing that Mazi can do, my advice to Mazi, is to get up to at least 320. Because you're going to need that extra strength and that extra chunk on your body to take the beating that you're going to have to take at playing that one technique. Unless Zimmer is go to, I heard this before, maybe let you be more of a one-gap player, let you shoot gaps, right, and try to penetrate quickly, which you were pretty good at doing at Michigan State, if you, excuse me, at the University of Michigan, if you can do that in this defense with the 4-3, which you can with a good linebacker or two behind you, you can actually do that instead of holding blocks. I think that trying to hold blocks is going to be Mazi's demise. If they make him play two gap, it's going to be to his demise. He's not ready. He's going to get banged on too much, and he's not going to hold up. Those shoulders are sensitive, man. And it takes a while for that shoulder to get strong enough to take a beating. And you probably could speak more to this than anybody, Boss Cowboy, because of your own injuries, right? So I think 320, if he's 305, great. He's in range. We're in May. He's okay, right? Just, you can put it on almost clean. If it's only 15 pounds, you can, if it's only 15 pounds and you got it to the middle of July, you can almost put it on clean. We need steak. We need potatoes. We need mass gaining protein shakes. We need a little bit of ice cream at night, peanut butter and jelly, stuff like that. We need that. But other than that, and I'm sorry about the tornado in Houston, and 4 people being dead, man. God bless, prayers to their families, whoever they might be.
God, I pray for them families right now, in the name of Jesus.
Yeah. So, that's what I think, man. I think if he's within 15 pounds, he can do it just about clean balls. He got enough time. But I don't think that his shoulder is going to be strong enough at this juncture to come back and hold up on 16 games unless they change the way he has to play.
Yeah. So before we take this call, this is what I'm going to say. In my opinion, we all need to be patient. It's not Mazi's fault. And I think the way Zimmer is talking about it and Greg Ellis is talking about it is perfect. They telling him, don't rush. I hope so. They are not selling it like it was sold. Because, which is wise. Because how did Will McClay, go ahead.
No, it helping Mazi because, everybody wants the rah-rah party. And yeah, we love this guy. Basically, it's a little bit of Will McClay appealing to the crowd a little bit. Like, yeah, we got this guy, and I'm giving you the answers you want to hear instead of giving you the actual correct answers. And he has to tell Jerry and Steve, yeah, he's going to come. He's going to help us pretty quick. When in fact, historically, that's never been the case, and you never should even sell it like that, because that's the only way that you would draft him at the bottom of the first round is if you really thought he can come in and help you right away.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only reason you would do that, and I'm just giving you what you want, but I'm not telling you the real truth. Like, and this is the problem with non-football guys that haven't really played, is because they don't understand the intricacies and the details and the amount of strength variance that it is from pro to college.
Yeah.
Right. It's such a strength and power variance, man. And I was talking to my son about this earlier. Not to go into a tangent, I'll be quiet in a second. But I was just telling him the strength variance of even when you go to college, from high school to college, and then you go to pro, you get around these pro guys. It's a strength gap, bro. These guys are millionaires. Let me just break it down. You're 21, 22. You're playing against 30-year-old millionaires. Okay, this is what you're doing. These guys have been eating the best foods in the world. They've had the best training in the world, the best nutrition and power and strength peak personnel in the world training them, okay? For at least 7, 8, or 9 years. And you come in right out of college and you go overpower them?
You get smoked.
You gotta be just like the one of the people in the comments said, you gotta be really special to do that.
Yeah.
And most people are not special.
You gotta be like Sue. Young Sue.
Young, she's just a bull.
Young Aaron Donald.
Exactly. You got to be like that.
Yeah, like super freak.
Yeah.
So the reason why he having the mental issues is because guess what Cowboy Nation start calling him? A bust. You're one. Why? Because he was sold as the answer. Year one. Right. If they would have been honest and said, listen, we're not going to put no pressure on him. DTs take a little while to develop. We go keep good players around him. But we know this guy is going to help us now rotationally. He's going to be asked to do a lot into the future. If they would have said that, then the fans wouldn't have been calling him a bust. But when you sold them like, this dude finna help us right now. They did Tristan Hill the same way. The exact same way. They went out there and sold it. This is why we didn't get Thornhill. This is why we passed up on DK Metcalf. You remember that?
Yeah, immense pressure, bro. Immense pressure, and it's undue, and they're uneducated, and it's unwise, and it's just bad. You know who does a really good job of bringing along defensive tackles and developing them? This
Philly.
organization does a really, really good job. Philly, I'm gonna give you two more that I think.
Let's break
really
down
good
Philly
job.
first. Then I want to hear yours. Just real quick.
Okay.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Look what they did. They got Jordan Davis. What did he do year one?
Nothing.
So what did they do? They went and got them some DT help and made him rotational, didn't he?
Facts.
Now, what they do with Carter?
Similar.
Yep. Well, Mitten Williams started getting more and more reps because Carter was feeling that pressure after 5 games.
Yeah.
So guess what we gonna likely see this year with Jordan Davis? The real Jordan Davis. Why? It's year 3.
Yep.
Yeah. Carter might be able to take that jump because he was a top 5 talent. So he might go year 1 or year 2 and go. But year 1, he was crying. And we talking about top 5 talent.
Yeah.
What was your example?
Yeah, man. I mean, Cameron Hayward out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. When he came in, he was touted as the guy. It took him a couple years to develop. What did they do? They put journeyman, solid, veteran defensive tackles around him, let him grow into the perennial All-Pro, one of the best in the game, and one of the best to do it, actually, interior defensive lineman now. I'll give you another example. Another team that does a really good job, low-key, at developing and keeping pretty good defensive tackles are the Tennessee Titans. They draft guys, man. They develop these guys, man. They get them strong. These are third-year guys before they start to really come out and make Pro Bowls, dominate. And they probably don't keep a lot of them. They end up getting contracts signed with other people. That's a whole nother show, by the way. But I'm saying you got to have a plan, and the plan can't be to rush and put pressure on a 20, 21-year-old dude to carry the back of the organization from the interior defensive line perspective. It's not going to happen, and it would break them. A lot of people, they would break. They're not used to the pressure and the bright lights of being in the city. And if you don't take into account the psychological implication, then it's just bad leadership.
Yeah.
Pollen paper got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Pollen paper got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the labels want the rights to me.
You talked about Mazi.
CD on my back and it
Right
feel
now,
like
this is ideal weight.
they
You
think that I'm
said
stunting, but it's slight to me.
I think he told me he's like 305 right now, and
All right, man. We got the call lines open. We gonna take us a few calls. Y'all know if y'all don't call in, we gonna get up out of here. Magic City is on. I definitely want to talk to you. Magic, you live.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on?
Oh, man, I'm watching your show. You make good sense. But what I was gonna say is what got me is now you know me. The Jones makes mistakes. We already know that.
Yeah.
I was talking about with Marvin Cooper. They got rid of Marvin Cooper because he didn't want to take the shot, and they kid Kellen Moore. You know, he didn't like what Kellen Moore did, so you know they had to get rid of him. So they get an F on that. So that was my boy. And then Darvin Harper should have made the team because I was at the camp. He did all the linebackers in the camp. He was making all the tackles. He should have been starting.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn, one of them little small guys. And I know what you're saying. He wanted his linebackers from Seattle. But you know the Jones were going to do that because they was going to keep their boy. And they made a mistake on that dumb stuff. But they should have kept Harper.
Yep.
And then the key to this whole situation, we would have never had. The big boy ain't no bum because he was at 330. I watched his tape. but they should have kept Big Bohanna
Yep.
and the big boy, Big
Ridgeway.
Country, and we wouldn't have to. That pissed me
Yeah,
off. We tried to hide them guys.
Ridgeway would have been year 3 right now. Bohanna, no, Ridgeway year 4, right? And Bohanna will be. Oh my God, yeah, we dropped the ball.
Oh my, that's off the bun right there. But that's why I'm mad at that day. I mean that, and I was telling everybody late in the season, and they always was laugh. I was like MJ. I said, man, I'm pissed off at the defensive coordinator. He said, why? I said, y'all up here celebrating. Yeah, it looked good with all the interceptions. But what happened when we had to get one of them 17-13 or 14, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they ran right down our throat because he got small linebackers. And then I told Law, I said, let me ask you a question, Law. Ask your panel when you talk to Boss and all them guys. Ask him, is they going to make them 2 big D tackles from Alabama lose weight? And it was, he got in Mazi's head, you got to be a 3 tech. You need to participate. And got in that dude's head, and he got in his brain, I got to lose weight and try to, no, big dummy, you a nose tackle. Just stay there. And with the other big Hankins, because what I thought was going to be Hankins and him in the middle, and then our DNs can eat, and then the linebackers can eat.
Yeah.
That's the difference. They're going to go get another D tackle because we got 3 spots open.
Yeah.
We need another D tackle.
Yeah.
I already know that.
I think it's hopefully in June 1st cuts. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 We do.
And the Redskins got 7 D tackles, and Cleveland got 7 D tackles.
Yeah.
They can't keep all of them.
Right.
We're going to get one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm waiting on June 1st. But if they don't do nothing after June 1st, man.
We got to get a D tackle. Because that'll make our defense. We got the linebackers now. Because Henderson is going to, now, that linebacker we got, he going to make everybody play the right way. And then he might, because them guys ain't got to be thinking no more. It's going to help 33 that changes number to 18. What's it change the number to 18 now? It's going to make the linebacker.
Yeah.
From LSU.
LSU Clark.
It's going to help him. Yeah. Now they get to play fast because that linebacker going to put everybody in position. Just stay in your lane and don't try to be no hero. That's why I would choose. My friends think I'm crazy. I said, man, we're going to win 12 to 13 games again. And y'all going to be mad. And I said, I'm glad you guys thinking we're going to be sorry. I'm glad y'all thinking that. Oh, and one more thing. 99 was out of position. You see him at Iowa. He played good D tackle. And Fihoko, they played like he was hurt, and he wasn't hurt. He had 284, y'all, right now. Fihoko playing D-end. You just got to get them one more D tackle. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
So we got the safeties and corners. Watch what happens.
Yeah, I'm hoping you're right.
And everybody going to be like crying. They can't believe the Cowboys winning again. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Good call, Magic. Good call. That was Magic City.
Thank you, man.
All right, thank you, bro. That was Magic City, man. OC, we go shut the phones down because ain't nobody else called in. Magic go call though. Yeah, that's one thing. Magic is go call. He not scared. He go speak his mind. Hold on, let me hit this button.
Bring real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Yeah, man. So I guess let's give our final words on this.
Well, man, I think that Mazi is in an enviable position. I hope, man, that he's using like what Ray Lewis used to come back for that Super Bowl when he tore both of his triceps. I hope he's using that deer antler, man. Get you some deer antler, man. Get it out your system, bro. Do everything you can to get them ligaments strong in that shoulder. And, man, just go out there and relax. Play your game. You know, work on your fundamentals. I think that was the key thing, right? Just work on your fundamentals. If you master your fundamentals, you build a good foundation, and then you'll be able to hold up. Don't expect Mazi Smith to be flashy, though. Don't expect Mazi Smith to have 40 tackles for loss and 6 sacks. Like, don't expect that, man. Expect Mazi just to be a complementary piece, to be really a rotational defensive lineman, which is what he should be at this point in his career, especially because of the injury to that shoulder. He's going to need another year or so to cook. Then year 3, expect more solid contributions and growth beyond that. Here's the thing that you got to remember. Even when we got older defensive tackles like Hankins have been in the league for a while. It takes a while to mature. If you keep that in mind, man, you'll be in good shape, man. That's my final thoughts on this.
My final thoughts is I think people finally starting to understand us, OC. Because I think, obviously sometimes we say things that sometimes people don't want to hear, but I think people starting to understand we coming from a good place, right? And if people being fair to us, we have a reason to have trust issues. So, like for instance, obviously, I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow. Bobby Wagner coming out, basically putting it out there that he was in talks with Dan Quinn. So we've been saying you gotta get your D coordinators what they lobbying for, what they saying they need. Dan Quinn for 2 years was saying, I'm trying to get Bobby Wagner. He could be one of the key pieces that could turn this whole defense to an even better level. But then when he left, he was accused of only liking little linebackers. Was that really him? No. Because if you listen to Bobby Wagner, he clearly said, we gonna talk about it tomorrow, you got to deal with Dallas. They couldn't get the deal done. The saddest part is this, OC. We know the numbers. Guess what his cap hit was when he went to the Rams?
What's that? 4? Man, he's a Hall of Fame linebacker, man. I mean, still with some tread. I mean, the Cowboys just do things that at times don't make good sense. That's the nicest way I can say it. That's it. I don't want to be too verbose on that. It just don't make sense. Just don't make sense, man. Just to save a buck.
Yeah, just to save a buck, and I think it's worth it. I think it's to a degree Jerry or Steven competing with Jerry.
Yeah,
where he trying to show how smart he is and this my drafted plan. See, people got to remember it was Stephen Jones that jacked up Jerry about Dion. That screams complex. That screams. Go ahead.
Insecurity, ego. You don't draft that well. Let me just be put on record. You don't draft that well.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
What I mean?
You don't draft good enough to do what you're doing.
You don't draft good enough to say I'm gonna stick with my guys.
Right.
We proved it on this show the last 3 years. You don't draft well enough. You don't get guys. You know why? Because it's a dilution of talent when you get out of the top 3 rounds, man. Yes, there are diamonds in the rough, but they're hard to find, and that's why people don't find diamonds in the rough. Therefore, the phrase "diamonds in the rough" is very hard to find.
Yeah.
You can't count on finding quality starters outside of the top 3 rounds all the time. You cannot do that, and you're not that good. I'm sorry, you're not.
Yeah.
Even Will McClay's good. He's not that good.
Right.
He'll go get you a guy that'll scrap, that'll make some plays for you. But to get a NFL starter, a Pro Bowler,
you got to hit all your draft picks.
Yeah, I mean it's just too much, right? And you won't purchase a proven commodity and somebody that has a track record in the league and that has matured. It's just unwise. It doesn't make sense. Bro.
Even with a good price.
Yeah.
That's what killed me. Even with a great price, they don't do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Listen, y'all. Y'all hit them likes. Yeah, y'all hit them likes, man. I'm going to be bringing you a show Friday. I'm going to likely bring you a show Saturday. I'm likely going to bring you another show Sunday. Because this is the deal, man. This content, it's organic. Like, it's organic. It's just what it is. It's like every time I do a new show, it pushes the other shows I got planned down the pipe, I still have to talk about, is our defense better? I thought I was going to do that Tuesday or Wednesday. That's going to probably be Sunday or Monday. I got that much to talk about. So, one more final word, man, if you got anything, and we're going to get up out of here, bro. For real.
No, man, we good to go, man. All I can tell you is, if you want the latest and greatest in Cowboy sports and news, follow Boss Cowboy Sports. Follow us, like, share, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. That's all I got, Boss Cowboy. So, salute.
Salute.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Look, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, I'm just trying to get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at since the second grade. Man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid. Love, dollar bill, listen close, this is not a drill. Niggas hungry trying to get a meal. I've been in light, who gon' pay a bill? I've been in action, been in traction, surplus with niggas lacking, shining light but still be blacking, red lights will stop the action, green to go, even when it's slow. Higher heights to balance out the lows. Can't ride the wave cause you ain't got